In a world where higher numbers indicate the newest model, in 2019 Sony did the only sensible thing and named their flagship phone Xperia 1. And if rumors hold true, you know how they're gonna top that in 2020? By naming their next flagship, you guessed it, Xperia 0. And if by some miracle, Sony Mobile is still around by 2021, is it safe to assume that the flagship will then be called Xperia -1? Now we're about to venture deep down into the rumor mill, so make sure that you eat a whole batch of salt and take everything here as hearsay until there's some concrete proof, but a lot of this stuff does line up with leaks that we've seen throughout the years, and the killer one being that the fact that Sony is looking to launch an all-new flagship phone called Xperia 0 in 2020. As for when we might see this phone, current rumors indicate that it's likely to be launched at IFA 2020, which takes place in September. Now again, remember, a lot of this stuff is all unconfirmed, but from what we know so far, chances are the phone is likely to look pretty similar to Xperia 1, so don't expect a radical design change. That means the same 4K 21.9 aspect ratio display, which is going to be powered by the new Qualcomm Snapdragon 865 processor. Some sites are even indicating that it might have 12 gigabytes of RAM, which might first sound absurd until you find out that the phone is supposed to have 5 brand new cameras just on the back and 1 brand new camera for the front-facing selfie camera. And if those didn't sound absurd enough for you, wait until you find out what these cameras are rumored to be. And as I mentioned before, I wouldn't usually report on something like this, which sounds a bit batshit crazy, but it lined up with a leak from earlier this year and really seemed to solidify that Sony is looking to build one monster flagship phone for 2020. It's believed that the 5 cameras will consist of the following: 48 megapixel with a variable f1.2 through f2.4, 12 megapixel with a variable f1.2 through 2.4 again, 20 megapixel with an f2.4, 16 megapixel with an f2.4, and an 8 megapixel with an f2.4 image sensor. As for the front-facing selfie camera, that's expected to come in at 10 megapixels. Beyond that, the rumor doesn't really indicate what these different cameras are going to be, which one of them are going to be wide angle, and which one might be ultra wide angle. But seeing how that's been such a popular feature, especially in iPhone 11 and iPhone 11 Pro, chances are that at least one of these cameras will be an ultra wide one. On top of that, if I had to guess, I'd say that the 48 megapixels, though it'll probably be able to take normal shots, is instead going to be used for zoom. I can totally envision a camera array setup that's going to allow you to take that 48 megapixel, but as you start to zoom in on it, it automatically on the fly does cropping for you. So it won't be a true optical zoom, but it won't be digital zoom in the old sense either. Really a hybrid of all that stuff, which makes sense in the world of computational photography. The more data the sensors are able to take, the more neat background tricks can happen that can create a lot of features that previously we had to do mechanically, like optical zoom. And so when you've got that many different cameras running, especially if they can function like iPhone 11 where they're all live at the same time and allows you to switch between them, then you can see why 12 gigabytes of RAM might not sound so absurd. And to top it all off, it's supposedly a 5G phone as well. Now, if that sounds like it's gonna be one hell of a phone and also extremely expensive, you're probably right.
Fellas, look what I found in my pocket. Look, a year's salary right here. What I call them? Fun coupons.
So let me know in the comment section, does that just sound like an absolutely absurd phone, or does that seem like a phone of your dreams? And if you found this video at all entertaining or helpful, make sure to hit that subscribe button so this channel keeps on growing and that I can bring you more videos. And if you're really into this channel, also make sure to hit that bell button so you're notified when my videos go live. But really, I think we're all here for Xperia -1, right? That's like the greatest joke ever. I'm so proud of it.